walkways need
Welcome home,
patching up.
Sid.
We're seeing troops amassing at every port.
Clive, I am. Well, I'll be. All of our comrades who lost their lives back at Sid's place be smiling down at you right now.
We had a stolus from Lubor saying Drake's fang had fallen. I expect that was your doing as well, was it?
It's a long story.
One for the history books, I'll bet.
Welcome home, Clive.
It's good to be back. You look better.
I feel it. Which means I'm coming on your next little adventure. You're not leaving me behind again.
Wouldn't dream of it. Otto. Any word on the Royalist movements since I've been away? Shouldn't you be putting your feet up? If you really want to know, go and have a word with Vivian. Thank you. I will.
It's good to have you back. I was worried.
If you're desperate to know more about Willard,
How may I help you today, Clive? Here you are. All done?
Ah, the conquer...
I...
Well, the fact that you came straight... The Sen.
The very same. But whatever plans Kupka was hatching with the Royalists, as did his men. Orcs, Vivian. The Waluders must have ferried them. Why work to rescue Kupka, only to invade his home? The Mother Christ... It makes no sense.
Do you know the tale of the blind men and the Adamantus? One can often be led astray by focusing too... One must instead see the bigger picture. The Kingdom of Walud claims dominion over all of Ash. It is a nation forged by the bloody conquest of Barnabas Tharm, the dominant of Odin. The Canvarian War of Independence in 849. The Battle of the Twin Realms in 865. The Battle of Belinus Tor in 873. Wheresoever his armies fought, Odin was found where the fighting was fiercest. But of late, the warrior king appears to have laid his sword to rest. Battle rages for control of the crystalline dominion. Yet Tharm sends not a single ship in support of his Dhalmekian allies. Meanwhile, the Blight ravages great swathes of Ash. Yet warlike Walud shows not the faintest interest in laying claim to untouched lands. So why go to the trouble of sending an army of orcs into the heart of Drake's Fang, only to make no attempt to claim the Mother Crystal for Walud? It can hardly be for lack of men. Tharm's armies rival any in the Twins. No. We have not seen the last of the Waluda standard. Odin will ride again. It is but a question of when. And on that day, who will be trampled underfoot? In summary, I know not to what end the Royalists betrayed Kupka. I know only that it is part of some broader scheme. A scheme tied to the ambitions of one man.
King Barnabas.
But there is no need to wallow in confusion. If one is to cure a sickness, one must first identify the symptoms. And your Lord Uncle has volunteered to do just that by keeping an eye on the Royalists' movements.
He's really throwing himself into this.
Indeed he is. Which means all that remains for us to do is await his reports. Well, not quite. The people of the Hideaway must hear the news. The wounds he left that night are still raw. Especially for those who live. Consider it the price.
I've never known you.
What can I say?
I suppose.
Clive.
No.
Look, he's crying.
And with good reason, children. There shall be no lessons today.
All right, brilliant.
Finally.
It does.
Thank you, Clive.
Hippocrates. After Kupka fell, I need to know what he is.
Alas. No, not even the sort of conspicuous absence that might suggest a concealment of...
But I saw him. With my own eyes.
Alas, to others, he reveals naught.
A bringer of...
Whether the Ultima you met with, but until I do...
Thank you.
Is there something I might assist you with, Clive? I don't believe you've read this particular chapter before. There is a rather fascinating excerpt I've been meaning to show you. If you have a question for me, I should be happy to answer it. always welcome, Clive.
Thanks to Sid, the man who...
Well,
Nothing escapes you, it's true.
good. Well, don't just stand there, go. You're rubbing me blind, you know. You'll not find a better price than that. Finished, are you?
Blackthorn.
What is it?
I wanted to tell you.
Under a new Sid.
I'll try to live. Right. Let's see if Otto has anything else for me.
What do you need? What do you want? Yeah, that should do you. You can thank me later. That it? Fine.
I'm telling you, it's true. I heard it from Otto's own lips.
You barely sat down since you came home. Vivian got you running errands or something?
Just spreading the word.
So, the professor's got a soft side.
No.
Ah, but you... I can think of plenty of friends back at the old hide, not least of all Sid. Well, when you do, she's been going at it hammer and tong down in that workshop of hers, trying to do her father...
Very well.
If I don't come up with something soon. All right, Clive?
I'm going to visit Sid.
Sorry, I've got to get this thermal displacement stack.
And
Only the fastest, finest ship the world has... Me and my dad designed it together, where other vessels rely on the fickle winds to drive them through. And those things have got more push than a behemoth in it, which is where... I may have already talked some tight-lipped shipwrights into... But the stack's a bit more involved. Thing is, it's so... I'll come and see my dad, though. Good old Clive. First things first, the stack will be made up of 3 major components. There's the plating, here, the helm over the top, that disperses, and the shielding around the sides.
probably best to take it one.
Then you'll need to start with the plating. I've got the designs and the list of... Show these to Blackthorn.
I can't make it.
Luckily,
Blackthorn. Can I ask a favor?
Out with it.
It's for me.
This my last chance to say I'm up. Go on, then.
She said...
Krieg. Well, I don't know what the hell, and I'll need help. Get Gavin.
All right.
So Mid's roped us all in here again, and she still. If that...
And,
Take a look at it. It's this plating. The usual sword grade steel won't. That means an alloy, which is where you lot come in. I need... Now, there's a special kind of sand I'm after that you... As for the rest of the stuff, my usual supply.
Well, one of us should probably give you...
and the other can go and...
Right then.
Well, make your minds up who's going where. We can get this out.
Up to you who you take to the desert. I mean, Gav's good in the fight.
You going after the... Which one of these...
Otto?
All right, then. Where do we find this stuff?
There's a river that runs through the southern reaches of the Velk.
And I'm guessing you'll be needing sackloads of the stuff. I'll let down then.
All right.
Use two ticket.
Just don't let the bastard...
He wouldn't do that.
Best of luck.
The finest fabric!
The most fragrant herbs and spices.
Gone, just like that. And without so much as a by your leave.
What's the matter?
I'd go and look for him myself. Loath though I am to rely on the kindness...
I'll see.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was...
All right.
My carpets have pride of place in...
Looks like I found the river. Now, where's Otto? Otto, sorry I'm late.
Oh, Clive. I had a quick scout about, and I reckon this area's our best bet. Seems Blackthorn's the only one who thinks smithing with his Stardust stuff's a good idea. It's just lying here, waiting for any old fool to fill his boots.
But unlike any old fool, you thought to bring a wagon.
Well spotted. Now get filling.
So this is Stardust. It just looks like black sand to me.
Be safe.
That should be enough for now. Let's see how Otto's getting on. Come on. Run like the wind.
How much did you get?
Enough.
More than me. Put it all together and I can't see Blackthorn complaining. Much. Here, Clive. Do you fancy a walk? Sid would be proud.
Of what?
Of you, you idiot. The way you've carried on what he started. When we first met, I had you down as a spoilt little puppy who enjoyed nothing more than biting the hand that fed you. But 5 years on, you're the one doing the feeding. So thanks for proving me wrong.
You weren't wrong. But I changed. Thanks to Sid. And thanks to you. When I suggested taking on his name, you were the first to back me. And if you hadn't, no one else would have. I couldn't have done any of this without you, Otto.
Yo, give over. You're making me blush. All I did was choose hope over despair. I gave you a chance, yes, but you're the one who took it. You took a rabble of homeless, hopeless outcasts and put them back on their feet. Gave them something worth fighting for, just like the old Sid did. About time I was heading back, I reckon. All this scrabbling about in the sand's taken its toll on the old pins.
I'll see you back at the hideaway then. You can take a well-earned rest when you get there.
Oh, I plan to. Believe you me. But I'll make sure Blackthorn gets his precious black sand before I put my feet up. He'll only moan otherwise.
Right. Ready to go home, boy? Come on. Ready, go?
lady at Humber's. Come, let us feast on your flesh. Your feasting days are over.
Those who kill for sport deserve no better. Excuse me.
What do you want?
The baker sent me to find you.
I am a sorry, selfish sod, aren't I? I'm certainly not a baker. Master must have ruled the day he took me in. Time was the sight of the Fang used to calm my nerves. But now look at her.
I take it you missed the Mother Crystal.
I hated her, but she was all I knew. Worked her mines for years. And when she shattered, part of me shattered with her. I had to trade my pickaxe for a rolling pin. But I'm no good at baking. Every loaf I touch collapses. My bread's as hollow as I am. She was the only thing that could fill the hole inside me. Oh, I loved her, damn it. But now she's gone. She's never coming back. What am I supposed to do? I ask her. How does a shell of a man learn to live again?
Perhaps you could express yourself in your work. If you miss the Fang, maybe you could recapture it somehow.
Recapture it? I'm a baker, not a... You know, you might just be right. What a fool I've been! I have to get back to the bakery right away. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. You've opened my eyes.
Wait.
The most fragrant herbs and
Though I worry.
Master, it's...
I dare.
Just look at the steeple peaks. True, my loaves collapse more often than not, but... And look, inside. Master, I have found...
Well, if it tastes half as unique as it looks, not only is my apprentice back, but he's... I don't know how you did it.
Let's hope this is all Blackthorn needs. Blackthorn, got everything you need?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Cheers for the stardust. Should be enough to...
Nice to get. Let's do it again.
I'll make a start on putting this. It'll take some time, mind. So if you've got other things to...
Thank you, Blackthorn.
Suppose we'd bet.
Give us a shot.
I went up to give some greens to the chocobo.
It hasn't been
I have done it, Sid. I don't have any pictures. I have learned all the letters.
If I don't come up with something soon.
You'll be pleased to hear that Blackthorn...
Excellent.
So,
The helm for this will be
salvaged from the ruin.
but
I'm sorry.
just so happens there's one particular ruin that's broken. What's the name back there? I'll give you all the details.
What's her name?
Oh, Sid.
Yeah.
Here you see the mithril engine, in which excess heat is... Now, were we to rely on thermal plating... In other words, this is where the helm comes in. It connects to the plating, you see, and serves as... Our experiments have shown that fallen ceramic... And, not only that, they're also... Why? If sea or rainwater were to enter the...
You can stop there. Mid said we... Where would I find it?
Ah, yes. It's... The thing is, well, It's no longer a matter of just walking...
I see. Would that help?
Oh, I'll gather my...
Good day to you.
The crystals.
Good to see you, Sid, as always. Ah, Clive. You'll
go on.
There are whisperings afoot of rustlings in the under... It may... Given... You...
Right. Let's see what the people of the village have to say. I'd better find out if this is just nerves, or something we need to take more seriously.
Word is, the Black Shields took a hiding at the hands of some...
Excuse me.
No, I mean, don't worry.
Or...
You're right.
There is a... Quentin tells me...
Oh, I heard the rumors, mind.
All right. Do you have him? There's talk of...
No, but I've heard something.
Where was...
In-law was out foraging, ran back here as quick as...
I see. Seems Lorbert's Pass is our best bet, then. What do you say, Torgal? Shall we go and investigate?
You there. Fuck! He's seen us. Get them before they escape!
Black Shields. Here. What the hell are you doing here?
What is it to you? We give a damn. All that matters to us is you don't leave here alive.
Why were they here? Were they planning an attack? I'm Lost Wing. I need to warn Quentin. Come on. Fly, Ambrosia. Time to fight. Straight home now.
Get up!
Oh, there you are, Sid. Thanks so much for coming. The, ruins are just over there, as is the creature I told you about, I'd imagine. Would you mind?
Of course. I'll be right back. Anybody home? This must be our unwanted visitor. Time to go. The things I do for you.
Sid!
You shouldn't.
Indeed. Well...
All right.
Good day to you. See.
The crystals we get from it.
Clive, how goes the hunt for our sinister figures?
I found some black shields hiding near Lorbert's Pass. They're gone now.
Black shields. The Empress's former bloodhounds. Though they serve another master now. One who means to root out and destroy both me and those I care for. And it would appear the pack has finally caught the scent of its prey. Damn it all. I had hoped I would have more and bite.
I'm sorry, who did the Black Shield serve now? And why would that person want you dead?
Because I want him dead.
Who?
The former Lord Chief Justice of Sanbreque. All that I have built here is for him.
I don't understand. Why him? Why Lostwing?
I suppose it is better that you know the truth. I was a member of the judiciary once. So sickened was I by the injustice of this world, I swore to fight it. And fight it I did in my own small way. I saw more than a few corrupt officials condemned to the very cells into which they had thrown blameless innocents. Men to whom the law was but a scourge to turn against the powerless. And throughout, it was the Lord Chief Justice who backed me, who was my one true ally in the quest to see justice done.
So what changed?
I discovered that he hunted bearers for sport. I was a fool to think he shared my hatred of venality and vice. His support for me was no more than a facade, a means of ridding himself of his rivals, a mask to hide the rot beneath. I filed suit against him immediately. His response, however, was rather more visceral. He had my entire family slaughtered. And he faced no punishment whatsoever. I lost everything. My loved ones, my livelihood, my position, the faith I had once held that any modicum of justice might be achieved through the courts. So I set about enacting my own. I tracked down every soul who served him, and slit their throats myself. But the man himself proved an altogether more difficult target. With money and power come protection. And so I saw that I would need an army of my own. I came here to Lostwing and began recruiting like-minded individuals.
And everyone here knows this is why you do what you do.
Of course. They too have lost loved ones to the bearer hunts. Seen faultless friends sent to the gallows to spare the guilty. All under the watchful eye of the Lord Chief Justice. Our wounds are the same. And our cause is the same. We are comrades, and our revenge is already in motion. We know where he hides, how numerous and well-trained his guard. What we did not know until now, however, was that his plans may already be in motion too.
Quentin.
Our time is short. He may move against us at any moment, unless we move against him first. My friends and comrades, it begins. Make ready for war.
not going to change his mind.
We haven't much, but you're free to look. Ah, yes. You're always welcome hearing.
We're seeing troops amassing at every boarding house.
No surprise.
How may I help you today, Clive? All yours. All done?
I think Mid might need some help.
If I don't come up with something soon.
Mid. Helena has recovered the material for the helm. She'll be along shortly.
Excellent. Another job well done.
And just one remaining.
Right. Right, the shielding. This one's a bit of a bugger.
How so?
The plating's enough to stop the engines going pop, but those things will still be spitting out enough fire to set the rest of the ship ablaze. Which is why you need proper shielding. A prison for the dragon's breath that's blazing away inside. I thought a triple thick layer of tempered steel might do it. Or more of the stuff that the Fallen use, but they'd both be too heavy. The helm and the plating are bulky enough as it is. Add any more weight and the whole ship would be at the bottom of the briny before we'd even started. I need something light. But I've racked my brains and I just can't think what would do it.
Well, if I were in need of obscure knowledge, I know whose counsel I would seek. Harpocrates.
Tomes? Yeah, well, I'd thought of that, obviously. I've got all the details written down here. Can you take this to him, see what he makes of it?
Right away.
Ugh, I'm never drinking.
Harpocrates, do you have a moment?
For you, Clive, always.
Well, actually, it's for Mid this time. Could you take a look at this?
Shielding for a mithril engine? Whatever will that girl think of next? And what are these notes around the edges?
She has some specific requirements for the materials. The shielding needs to be able to resist extreme heat on the inside, and yet remain cool enough on the outside not to set the ship alight, while also being light enough not to sink it. As you can imagine.
I see.
I wondered if you might know of a solution.
Perhaps. It is not...
What do you mean?
Consider the lake we have made our home. Its blighted waters eat away far more, and yet we have made a home.
We have, but Bardolph must varnish every board twice over to keep it from rotting. I see.
Early Gregorian histories speak of a preparation before the dragoons tamed the worms and wyverns of the... So if it might be applied to some, but I shall speak to them if you would be so kind as to procure the necessary the knowledge of the past.
Thank you. And since you're asking others...
So you need a hand, do you?
We do. I'll be heading to market for the ingredients we need. I could do with some help. And some company, too.
The other can assist me in researching how best to prep.
Can we count on your...
Always. Well, if...
Thank you.
I am sure either of these fine young minds would prove indispensable.
Shielding that guards against even the most...
So, Clive, who will accompany...
Very well. So then...
I have taken the liberty of...
White chocobo eggs. Are you sure this list is right? I would have thought the ingredients...
Though these items may seem mundane, they have potent effects, so much so, in fact, that they were harvested almost to extinction. Now, of course, they...
Is that so? I've been meaning to visit Northreach anyway.
I will.
You two enjoy it.
You too, Talia. Now, where's Jill?
Welcome, welcome. Come back again.
Keep them pilchards nice and chilled.
Are those Pepio nuts?
How goes that?
I'm sure everything we need. Why don't we split up?
All right.
How about you look for the Pepio nuts? I'll find the other.
Up! You'll not find a bruised pippin.
Fresh cuts! Come and get them!
What can I interest you in today? Ah, yes. Keep fighting the good fight. All anyone ever wants anymore.
Buy, sell, or be gone.
That's everything. Let's see how Jill's getting on.
Did you find everything?
I did.
Garlic and Pepio nuts. Perfect. Now all that remains is for Harpocrates to somehow turn all this. But before we head back, would you walk with me a while? Thank you for asking me to help you today. It makes a nice change.
It does. It's good to get away from all the battle and bloodshed for once. Just being here reminds me of when we were children. Do you remember? Walking down Market Street in Rosalith, taking in the sights and smells.
How could I forget? What with Torgal's antics. Remember how his nose would prick up at the scent of sausages? He'd go racing away and we'd have to go running after him. We wouldn't catch you now, would we, boy?
Was there anything you wanted to buy for yourself while we're here?
There was, yes. Well, sort of. Molly in the kitchens told me about a place that sells particularly good pies. Thought you might like to share one with me.
I would. Thank you.
And I saw some bread. Big white cobs like the baker back in Rosalith used to make. What do you think? I thought we might get some soup to dip it in. Sorry. It's just... Clive. Is it wrong of me to enjoy this?
No, Jill. This is how life should be. And it's how our lives will be when our work is finally done. When we can live on our own terms.
I hope so. Thank you, Clive.
Well, I suppose we better be getting back. I need to give these ingredients to Harpocrates and Talia. I'll see you at the hideaway.
Take care.
I will. You too.
I wonder how Harpocrates is getting on with the moon dew.
Ugh, I'm never...
Clive. Harpocrates has all the ingredients.
How's work on the shielding progressing, Harpocrates?
Well, very well indeed. And thanks in no small part to your kind assistance. I was just explaining to Talia how we might best go about preparing the moon dew. And now that we have all the ingredients, we may begin.
You can count on me. I've mixed more than a few mysterious concoctions in my time.
I'm sure you have. What about the shielding itself?
Work is underway, under the watchful eyes of Bardolph and Obolus.
Apparently, it'll be ready soon.
Thank you. All of you.
Right then. Jill, would you join me in the infirmary? Many hands make light work and all that. Of course. Oh, and Clive, thank you. It was nice, just being with you.
It appears our work here is almost at an end. A shame. I was enjoying playing the man of action for once. When both the shielding and the moon dew are ready, it will merely be a matter of applying the one to the other. Followed by a rigorous process of testing and retesting, of course. Perhaps someone ought to warn young Mid of that.
Leave it to me. Thank you, Harpocrates. Well, I better go and give Mid the good news then.
The no thanks to Sid.
I heard what you told Nan about Kupka.
Editors started reading books that don't have any pictures in.
Sorry to keep you up, but you'll be pleased to know that work on the
You found some...
In a manner of speaking, Hop is supervising the construction.
Brilliant.
Don't thank me.
Right then, better start working out how to the black...
You know, when I got into the smithing game, I thought I'd be making swords and shields, not thermal bleeding didgeridoo-dahs.
Displacement stacks.
Same difference. Whatever you call it, I ain't putting it together in here. It's cramped enough as it is. Let's take this outside. Mid, you get all the parts lined up on the deck. I'll take care of the rest.
On my way.
Oh, and bring me the biggest salmon you can find. This is gonna require some precision walloping.
It's finished! It's finally finished!
Thank fuck for that. I'll be feeling my hammer arm for weeks.
Thank you, Clive, Blackthorn, everyone. That's one down and just 3 more to go.
I'm sorry.
Oh, didn't I tell you? The Enterprise has 4 mithril engines, and we'll be needing a displacement stack for each.
You don't mean...
Now they've got a finished one to work off. My gang in camp.
Good luck. Right, I'm off to get a sling for this elbow.
What's the matter?
Nothing. Thinking about the Enterprise sailing off over there, searching for a land untouched by the Blight. So if the worst came to the worst and every scrap... That's what she was meant to be, you see. But now she's so close to being finished, I've realized I don't want her to be that. I don't want her to be just a lifeboat for us to cling to if things get desperate. I want people to sail aboard her by choice, not from the lack of it. In a world where we're not just trying to survive, but where we can actually live.
I'm working on that. And I'll do everything I can to get you what you want.
Don't you always? All right. My mind's made up. As soon as the Enterprise is fit to sail, I'm putting her under your command. Sod our plans, I'm trusting in yours.
Are you sure about this?
Something tells me it's what my dad would have wanted.
He'd be proud of you.
You were gonna visit his grave, weren't you?
I was. And you can come too, now that your little project is finished.
Right. There's just one thing I need to finish up first. Won't be a mo.
All right. I'll let Otto know you're coming. Meet us in the mess when you're ready.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Mid told me she was building a ship.
All right, Clive, Mid finished sending half the hideaway traipsing across the twins, has she? I swear, that girl do anything. No, excuse.
Not quite. She said there was one final...
She said that?
She...
Clive, were you born yesterday or something? She'll probably be halfway to...
Mid.
Well, here, Sid.
Let's hear it.
Well, it's a lovely bit of kit, yes. Problem is, it won't always get, which is why I've been proper.
So what exactly?
Nothing but Bob Ashell gave me a sample she'd obtained. You pour the blackest blight water. So, and do you know what I found out? It's own...
I take...
I would have gone...
All right.
Thank you.
I think Mid might need some help.
Is that the thing Tomes helped?
Obolus, have you seen Mid?
Yep. In a boat, going that way.
Then I'm too late.
You in a hurry and all, are you? I offered to take her across, but she wouldn't wait. Just paid for a dinghy and rowed off. Oars going like the clappers. Got some life in her, ain't she? But anyway, I was on my way up to see you, as it happens. Got a letter for you. Urgent, by the sound of it. One of your uncle's men said I was to hand it to you in person, post-bleeding haste. And you're here now.
Thank you, Obolus.
Don't mention it.
What tidings, Uncle? Trouble in Canva. Well, I'll need someone to keep an eye on Mid.
So what? Mid got us to do all the dirty work and then just sailed off into the sunset?
It, seems that way.
Well, nothing we can do about it now. But next time you plan on visiting Sid, you might want to tie her to something before you suggest it.
Don't be so hard on her. Got to admit, the dirty work was kind of fun. Everyone pitching in and all that bollocks. Just like when we built this place.
You're right.
Anyway, we all set to head to the old hideaway. I could do with getting to Canva pretty sharpish. Wouldn't do to keep Lord Rosfield of the Seven High Houses waiting now, would it? Not after he asked for me personally.
Gav will be leaving with me. Will you mind the place while we're gone?
You can count on me. Just be sure to give Sid and the others my regards. All right.
Oh, by the way, Jill will be joining us too. She's got some things to take care of, but she'll meet us there.
I hope she's telling the truth at least. Well, Sid, I remember what you told me. That if no one is listening to what you have to say, you may as well not say it. But I will say this, old friend. Hugo Kuka is gone. His shadow looms over us no longer.
It's a pity the Phoenix can't be in two places at once. If he'd have been with us, maybe he could have done something for the Lost.
Not even the Phoenix can bring people back from the dead. Life has a beginning and an end. So we must live while we have the chance. And not as slaves to the crystals, but as free men.
May we join you?
Lady Karen, what a pleasant surprise.
I thought I'd drop by and see how you were all doing before heading off to restock my supplies. It wasn't the most scenic view back then, but it were never as bad as this.
I know. The blight marches on. And soon, there'll be no escaping sights like these. So our mission remains unchanged. We cannot stop until every Mother Crystal is gone, and their thirst for ether with them. The only one that remains in Storm is Drake's tail in the Crystalline Dominion.
Our next target.
We're going to Twinside.
It's the capital of the Empire these days. I wouldn't like to think how tightly guarded they've got the place. Not that that'll stop you, but we do well to scout it out before you go charging in.
We would indeed.
If you're off to the Dominion, you can take this great lump with you.
Goods.
Oh, I am sorry. Have you forgotten you're the most wanted man in the Twins? I thought you might like to disguise yourselves as the attendants of a travelling trader, assuming you've no better ideas. You wanted to buy yourself some tools, didn't you? Well, now's your chance.
You're letting me go with them? Oh, thanks, Nan.
Stop that! You'll break me bones, you great galoot. There's a caravan that runs back and forth between the Dominion and the Bocklad markets. It's managed by the Merchants Guild. Just show them Goots' traders pass and you'll be on your way. It'll be a damn sight less risky than footing it the length of the Crystal Road. That's for sure.
Thank you, Karen. And glad to have you with us, Goots.
Okay then. I'll get me things and I'll meet yous there. See yous down in Bocklad.
Get off! Me poor fingers!
Jill, you're with me.
Understood.
And Gav?
Already on my way, Captain.
Be careful.
Aren't I always?
Do you see that, Sid? Your protege's making a proper little outlaw of himself.
crack crystal too.
Trouble with the ledgers. Shouldn't he be asking Otto for help? What could be wrong with Torgor? He seemed well enough when I last saw him. Hopefully it's nothing. But I should speak to Blackthorn just in case. I got your note. You think something's wrong with Torgor?
So you can read. I didn't say I were wrong with him. I said he used to love cracking the bones from Molly's. Didn't like him. We've not been working him.
No harder than you. Is that it, boy?
What was it you said he was?
That's what the lawsman seems to think.
Then maybe this all has something to do with whatever it is.
I suppose things have been different since Rosalith. Perhaps Hippocrates knows something.
Instead of everything, you mean? Perhaps.
Blackthorn, do you have a moment?
Not really, no.
This won't take long. I just wanted to ask how you're getting. You might still be doubting your craft. Perhaps sharing a...
That bastard's like a dog still. He's got a keen eye, I'll give him that. He's just, well... Karen showed me something. Something I've never seen before.
And that was?
A sword. An odd-looking thing with a single-edged blade. The metal itself wasn't anything to write home about, but fuck me. The edge on it. You could slice a man clean in two with a weapon like that, and he'd be halfway home before he even realised he'd been cut.
So that's what's troubling you?
No. Not troubling me exactly. More distracting. Can't stop thinking, how do you get an edge of that shit?
And if you knew how we could arm the curse breakers...
That's about it.
I'll see what I can. Sharper swords when we can't have them.
You're a soft, but I can't say I'm not.
Thank you. Let's see what Karen knows. You're looking well, Karen.
What do you want? Out with it.
I want to know about the sword you showed Blackthorn. Single-edged.
Running around after him again, are you?
I suppose I am, yes. But I need to help him find out how to work an edge like that. It's driving him to distraction.
Little wonder, I suppose. There's not many like that make it as far as the twins, and those that do go straight into private collections. Which made it nice and easy finding a buyer.
Can you tell me who bought it? Where is it now?
You think I tell people who my clients are? Suppose you're not likely to go nicking him off me, are you now? Fine. If you stop mooning at me like that. Lord Ignac's the man you want. Dalmekian bloke. Collects weapons and the like. And he's got more money than sense, which is why he's one of my favourite clients. Reckon he'll still be at the inn in Dalamil, where I left...
Thank you.
Oh.
I appreciate the warning. Lawsman, I need to ask...
He isn't it?
I don't think so. She says he's hardly been touching his bones of late, and she believes it may have something to do with what happened at Rosalith Castle.
I rather think she might. All canids are instinctively inclined to crack open bones, and I see no reason why a Frostwolf should be any different. If we assume that his newfound it may well be that the Bones Lady Karen is a Frostwolves, after all, habitually prey upon far larger animals. As to where one might find a suitable substitute, some antelopes...
I don't recall ever seeing...
And little wonder. The oldest and largest such creatures rarely leave the safety of the highlands for fear of predators. The last elder antelope sighting I recall hearing about took place near Cressida.
Even so.
Good hunting.
Oh, I'm never drinking again. Is that the thing Tomes helped with?
Mid told me she was building a ship.
Clive, did you get my letter?
That's why I'm here.
Shh. Otto won't be listening.
Is this better?
A little. Listen, I've some bad news. It turns out the Hideaway may be slightly behind in its payment to certain lenders, and it may be my fault. But I swear to the goddess, I thought I had the numbers square. Sadly, that square turned out to be more of a circle. Zero, you might say. I can straighten it out, I swear, but it's going to take some time, and I'm going to need help keeping it from Otto.
Bit late for that, I'd say.
There you are! What a surprise!
So let me get this straight. You forget to pay our lenders what they're due, and instead of coming straight to me, you get Clive to come to you. And I hope he'll dig you out of the hole you've dug for yourself. Clive, the man in charge of the place you've been cheerfully trying to bankrupt. And you thought this was a cunning plan. Why? Well, who needs paying?
Oh, just Martha. And the dame. And, well, Lady Karen. But only 500 talents.
We owe 3 of our most trusted friends 5 million gil.
Each. 5 million each. They lent us the bulk of the money we used to rebuild the Hideaway, you see, and, well, I must have made some sort of oversight.
Those ledgers were my responsibility, and it was my decision to entrust them to you. This is my fault.
Do we have that much to hand? I can always ask my uncle.
No, we don't. And no, you won't. We've lightened Lord Rosfield's purse enough. After the king's ransom we had off him, he deserves better than to see. Besides,
All right. But that doesn't mean you have to shoulder the burden yourself. Is there anything I can do to help?
There might be. How'd you fancy taking these to Martha and the dame?
Rocks.
Rocks, he says. Worth 1,000 talents apiece, these are. A little something Sid and I set aside for when times got lean. And I reckon 15 million in overdue debt probably qualifies. I just hope our associates' eyes are a bit more discerning than yours.
I'm sure they will be.
Should be me making the rounds, really. But you know how it is with this place. Orders to bark, arses to wipe, and all that.
I know. Which is why I don't mind going in your place.
Go. Do you know why I only gave Master Clive here 2 star rubies?
Because you'd rather Lady Karen...
Because I'd rather Lady Karen killed him.
Well...
Don't worry.
Really?
No. How are you feeling?
Better. Thanks to Taya.
I'm glad to hear it.
And Torgal helped too. Didn't you, boy?
This used to be a trade route for merchants crossing the Scars, till the Republic laid a new road wide enough to let wagons pass, and all official traffic moved there.
Leaving this one for those living outside the law.
Indeed. I doubt we'll be the only outlaws on the trail today. You deserve a rest.
So what do you think? Really? It's as bad as that?
Oh, aye. There's trouble up ahead.
I take it there's...
Oh, what about this fit?
Oh, no doubt. Well met, friend. My brother and I have been tasked with finding a merchant's missing cart.
How does a merchant misplace his cart?
Oh, the man's a coward.
He sent the 2 of us to fetch it, but it's gone. Now, I'm not much...
My brother's right on all accounts.
We may have seen our share of action, true, but...
You, however, Have the look of a man who needn't fear. Chances are they'll come for you either way. But if you promise to lend us a hand, at least you'll pocket a reward for your troubles.
Well, if I'm going to have to deal with them anyway.
You've clearly got a fine head on those broad shoulders.
We're lucky you came along. Now, hoping to make a heavy purse in Boklad, our merchant reckon he won't be forking over the rest of our fee if we don't...
All right.
No. You can leave the cart to us. You just put an end to those bandits and point us in the right direction. You do that, we'll take care of the rest.
I'm not sure I trust those two. But if there are bandits lying in wait, I should probably take care of them.
Look lively, you lot.
Yes. These must be our bandits.
Wait
That's them dealt with. Now, where's that cart? Getting all of this out of here will be a nightmare.
Seems we've found ourselves the right man for the job, wouldn't you say?
Found the cart and didn't leave a single bar.
And how exactly would
you leave that to us? After all,
you've done your part. It's been a pleasure. Now piss off.
There's no need to be so rude, brother. What if we want his help again next time?
I see the Dalmex lag behind Rosaria when it comes to bridge building.
The fallen ruin should hold, at least.
The path continues on the other side. So this is Zemeckis.
The land of the gods. It's even more impressive than I imagined. I remember being captivated by the story as a child.
Long, long ago, man was overcome by avarice and challenged the gods in a bid to win their power. The final battle took place here, at these falls. Or so the legend goes. If anyone ever manages to plumb those depths, perhaps we'll learn if there's any truth to the tale.
That the gods emerged victorious and punished man for his defiance by visiting upon him 2 curses.
Dominance and bearers. To tell the truth, I always thought it strange that the dominant and their icons were deemed a curse. Back home, the dominant inherited the throne. They were admired and exalted, not spurned. Whenever I got to that part of the story, I always assumed there must be something I'd misunderstood.
You had a lot of storybooks, didn't you? In your room, I mean. When we were young.
The old legends were always my favorites. Epic battles between gods and men. Father encouraged me to read as much as I could. He thought it good for my education.
You really were a boy like any other, weren't you?
Just look at this place. It's enough to make you believe the legends are true.
I know.
We're not far from Boklad. The road will be busier up ahead.
And we'll have to keep our wits about us. Clive? Something wrong?
Nothing. It's nothing.
I see the reports are true, Father. You have surrendered the throne to Olivier.
I have. Emperor Olivier shall rebuild the Holy Empire of Sambreg.
How is he to rule an empire? He is but a boy.
I shall advise him until he comes of age.
Father, please.
Or for as long as I am able. The empire we seek to build needs young blood to rule it, and I can think of none better suited to the task. There is other news, Dion. Hugo Kupka is dead, and Drake's Fang destroyed. The pillars of the Republic have fallen. Ere long, the Imperial banner shall fly over every city in Storm. And then Valisthea. All shall bow before their Emperor.
Father, these are the words of a tyrant.
They are the words of a god. The Emperor whom I gladly serve. Great Grieger, made flesh. Return to your camp, Dion, and ready your forces. It is time to show the world the true power of Sanbreque.
Father. I find you much changed. Is this truly the path you wish to tread? Or are these the ambitions of another? Of Ultima, perhaps?
What nonsense is this? I speak my mind, and my mind only. Though I do owe Annabella thanks for reminding me of certain truths regarding the nature of nations, of rulers, and of the divine.
You would trust the words of this traitress? She betrayed her country. She slew her husband.
You have ever been an invaluable servant to Sanbreque, Prince Dion. I trust you will continue to serve your Emperor in the wars to come.
The canker! Silence! Insolent wretch! You will bend the knee. All else is heresy.
Sire, forgive me.
This audience is over. Come, your Radiance. The Rowena Syndicate awaits your pleasure.
Oh, not another meeting with silly old men. They're so boring. I'm hungry, Father. Can't we have luncheon instead?
Does it pain you that you will not inherit your father's throne?
I have suffered worse.
Count your blessings, Dion. For a base-born child to be chosen by Bahamut is miracle enough. You have risen high on his wings, but you shall rise no higher, lest your impure blood stain the throne.
What do you know of my blood?
The Boklab markets are to the north. We just need to hug the coast. Come on.
Time to fight.
Infiltrating the Dominion won't be easy with the Imperials on high alert.
No. His Radiance has lost one capital already. We can be sure Sylvester will do everything in his power to hold on to Twinside. His troops are well-trained and increasingly battle-hardened. But it's not as if we can wait for the siege to end. Straight home now.
Ready, go? Fly, Ambrosia.
More refugees.
And they're all making for the crystalline dominion.
Because they don't know how to live without the crystal's blessing. I can walk from here.
There are no crystals here. We have to keep going.
This is where we're supposed to meet Goots, isn't it?
That's right. He said he'd wait for us here after replenishing his supplies. I dare say he'll have finished by now.
Let me carry your goods. I'm cheap. What are you looking for?
Many thanks. You've a discerning eye. You're welcome anytime. Out of my sight. Wretch.
Wonders from across the water. Come one, come all. Feast your eyes. Good sir, can I interest you in...
How much? For a measly crust of bread? You won't find any cheaper. Not nowadays. But you're more than welcome to look.
The Empire's unlawful and illegitimate occupation of the crystalline dominion is still in effect. Only those whose business in Twinside has been officially approved by the Republican Army will be permitted to cross the border. All who seek entry are to form a line and ready their documents for inspection.
Looks like we aren't the only ones who are eager to leave.
And they're checking everyone.
Can't you make an
Not for the likes of you.
We won't get through without that pass. Let's go and find Good, shall we? He must be around here somewhere.
Come and taste my peaches!
You won't find anything of this quality in Twinside.
Oh, Good.
Clive,
Slow down, Good.
we cannot ride the caravan without it.
Do you...
It was in my pocket a minute ago. Here.
It wouldn't surprise me.
So, to get the pass back, we need to find...
I know where. No one knows more about what...
Where do we find...
She's the owner of the Crimson Caravans, up that way. Sign's got a red...
No time like...
Used to. I'm gonna check the rest of my stuff, make sure...
All right.
Let's keep an eye out for this red chocobo, then.
And the other on our purses.
What's next to the check?
Looking to hire a coach? It's 10 million for a two-birder to the Crystalline Dominion. Take it or leave it.
Oh, we're not here for that.
Then I bid you good day.
Oh, wait! Don't go, El! He's me mate.
As I live and breathe.
Goots, what are you doing back in Boklad? I gather Lady Karen didn't send you. So what trouble have you got yourself into this time?
It's me trader's pass. It got stolen. By a little bairn.
Of all the... You're the size of a marble. Honestly. Ugh.
Goots told us that you know the markets well. Might you have an idea which little bairn could have done this?
We don't intend to punish them. We just need our pass back. Then, we can be on our way.
I see. So neither of you has a trader's pass either. Not that anyone would take you for traders, but I suppose that's why you came to me, correct? Now, I can't say for sure who took your pass, but I suspect I know why they did it. Let me explain. Ever since the Fist marched on the Dominion, the Republic has been clamping down on any commerce that might aid the Empire more than it does us. Which means traders' passes have gone from being merely a way of easing one's progress to being essential if one wishes to cross the border at all. And with demand outstripping supply, they've become a precious commodity, leading some to seek to acquire them by less than legitimate means.
So the children are stealing passes to sell on the black market?
Yes, and no. Passes are inscribed with the names of their owners, and yet none of the victims' names have appeared on the register of those passing through the checkpoint.
Which means?
That someone is doctoring the stolen passes. The same someone who is encouraging the children to steal them. And the same someone who has Goots' pass, no doubt. Whoever they are, they're ruining the livelihoods of honest merchants, which is why we've decided to take a stand. Will you stand with us? You want to get your pass back, and we want to ensure that no more are stolen. Catch whoever's behind it all, and 2 birds shall be slain with a single stone.
Is there any other way of getting to the Crystalline Dominion, Goots?
They won't let you in if you're not with the caravan. It's that, I don't know, try swimming across the strait. But the guards will definitely spot you if you try and do that. Like, we don't want to get spotted, right?
So either we find the people who took the pass, or give up all hope of entering the Dominion.
All right. We'll help.
Thank you kindly. But I don't know your name. Eloise at your service.
Clive.
A pleasure doing business with you, Clive. The proprietor of the furniture makers by the coach stop is spearheading the search. Wear that, and he will know you for a friend. I suggest that you speak with him first.
The furniture makers. Understood.
out of my sight, wretch!
Come on!
Jug of snake spit for the road?
Juicy pears! Slake your...
Are you the furniture maker?
Looking for something in particular? Ah, Eloise collared you too, eh? Then I expect you want to know more.
She told me you were leading the hunt for the pickpockets. What have you learned?
For one, that they're targeting the traders carrying the bit harder to watch your back, see? And less chance of them, not that they'd be likely to catch them. Those imps, no.
Their eyes must have lit up.
The fishmonger round by the gate's been trying...
Thank you.
You won't find anything of this quality in Twinside.
You should come with me to the Dominion. Life will be different.
Fish for sale! Can I interest you?
She's asked me to help her.
Is that so? For one, this isn't a family operation. Street urchins, by the sound.
Orphans.
A few, perhaps. They're all looking for a new start in the Dominion and beyond.
A shame.
Whoever's behind this would have to have made...
And so should we.
You should start with the children around here, then.
It's worth it.
All right, then. Questioning children. How hard can that be?
Come, taste my peaches! They're sweet as nectar!
Excuse me.
Cons.
I was just wondering if...
Anything you grown-ups ever ask us to do is shop, so guess what I'm about?
Sorry.
I'll take the large one.
Do you have a moment?
What do you want?
What I want is...
I don't know. No, but what's picking pockets?
No, you... So if they come calling...
The caravan stops next to the checkpoint. Show them your trader's pass.
What do you want? It's all right. We're not going to... We've heard that some very bad... We need to know...
I don't know much about it, really. He said he got a job.
Sounds...
We need to find...
Do you know where you're...
He's usually by the tent.
Thank you.
Come on! Come on!